Iraki atura yamasana tara antuki namara ando su yamara kiti yatrava yatutu uisata perché no uisisa perché ina annabati unukuri mana sana warati maka atura yasamarati tuna yamaka lawata umbrku ina wa yasate marka tina wa yasate ya korati ma ina wa shusatri yatpraka inti itu uisite ipraka yabarta atik sututa amarke Inora sa perché noi tutti tra sembra che nimraka yattato ush setmaka itu yattimra hatwayan. Namaste, welcome, good morning, grand rising. This is going to be a short one today. Let's see how the internet fares. It held out yesterday for a little bit. We're going to talk quickly as the soul being rises behind us. And the ascension temple risen above, so below. I want to talk about raising your vibration because it's something that we hear about a lot, and it's going to be really quick, maybe. But we're going to talk about raising your vibration and what it means, and probably more about what it doesn't mean. Sometimes it's easier in this inverted reality, this inverted matrix, to say what something is not, because most of what we are is not something that we can speak of. So it's easier to speak of what it's not. It's like the neti process in non-duality. Not this, not that, not this, not that. So if you say what you're not, you say what you're not, you say what you're not, and then you eventually get to what you are, which is like peeling the onion. You take off the layers that you are not this layer, not this layer, not this layer, and then you get to the last layer, and the last layer of the onion disappears, and what is left? Nothing. And so this idea of raising your vibration, it's so common. It's kind of like a trite saying in spirituality, in circles, ascension circles, raise your vibration. So what it sounds like is, I need to do something to take myself to a higher level, to improve myself, to become better, to become higher, to become more. That's the subtle, or not so subtle, implication of that idea. Raise your vibration. Do something to become higher, to become more, to become better. But what actually it is. So all the practices, processes, things that we do that we think raises our vibration are actually a process of stopping doing something that we're unconsciously doing that prevents us from realizing that we are already risen. So we're unconsciously doing many things that hide or mask or prevent us from experiencing the... Oh, I'm good. Thank you so much. And we are, yes, unconsciously doing, quote, doing these things that it's just like a beach ball. We're unconsciously, you think about a big beach ball blown up and it's been held underwater. Its natural potential is risen, but we are unconsciously, as a human and in this body with all our limited beliefs and all our systems, are unconsciously holding the beach ball under the water. This is what stress and tension is. This is what these things, like this constant unease, this constant seeking, is actually we're holding an unconscious. Not like we do it deliberately. It's not something that we even know mostly that we're doing. Is we're holding our potential under the water like a beach ball. And what happens is, if we would just let go, its natural tendency would be risen. Not that we raise its vibration, is that we stop doing those things that prevent us from our natural state of being, which is the risen being. The arisen being, not rising, not do something to get yourself up there, is letting go. It's a letting go. It's a letting go of doing all the things that we do that we don't know that we're doing, that prevent us from realizing we are already risen, we are already ascended, we are already whole, we are already holy, we are already that which we seek. That which we seek is seeking us. When we stop doing the thing that says, I'm seeking for the rising of the vibration of this beach ball. One day I might be worthy enough for this beach ball, in this analogy, to become this ascended being, to become this enlightened being, to become this happy being. All everyone wants is happiness. So let's just use happiness. And so what it is our body, our beliefs, our baggages, our backpacks of beliefs hold this beach ball under the water, and we're like, oh, when is it going to get better? When are things going to work out? When am I going to experience prosperity? When am I going to experience love? When am I going to experience expansion? Whenever we let go and let the natural tendency of our being to reveal itself, just as whenever you let go of the beach ball under the water, you haven't raised your vibration. You haven't done something to make that ride. You haven't used an effort to take something from a lower energy to a higher nature. You have let go of holding that natural. And in essence, this analogy falls down because we are already that. It's just our experience is this experience of being held down. And what we're being held down then is called the government, is called the matrix, is called the Illuminati, is called the reptilians, is called the negative ETs. That's what that's called. These ants, automatic negative thoughts, ANTs. We call draconians. We call all of these things. It's our natural tendency to hold ourselves in a position that is less than our natural position and give ourselves the idea that somehow we are less than we are, and all it takes is a letting go. It's a letting go and allowing our nature, our natural nature, our true nature to reveal itself. It's our risen nature. It's already so. It's already holy. It's already whole. It's already in its arisen state. It's already in its ascended state. The illusion is this holding this ball underneath the water against its true nature. But again, it's only in our illusory, dreamlike experience that we are that ball underneath the water. That we are this fallen state. That we are less than what we are. We are what we are. We is what we is. What is what is. Our experience of that is what differs, is what, and what opens up in like spiritual experiences, like in maybe like sacred plant medicines and mystical experiences, is temporarily, in some cases, like with plant medicines and those things, it's artificially the veil parts, the illusion falls apart, the curtain is pulled back, and you see momentarily what is already there, and it's just beyond your imagination. It literally is beyond your imagination, and we spontaneously realize it's already here. I'm already done. It's already so. And then what happens is that because it's artificial or because it's momentary, it closes back up again, and then we're back holding down the baggage of beliefs, holding down the beach ball, holding down the idea of the little me, the little human that needs to strive, that needs to earn, that needs to learn, that needs to get something, that needs to go somewhere, that needs to become something, that needs to become better, that needs to ascend, that needs to improve, that needs to know something that it doesn't, needs to get something that it hasn't. And we fall back into this cycle, this loop of limitation, this cycle of separation, this dream that I am not who I am. So yesterday I was in the King's Chamber, which is about 10 meters from the top of the Great Pyramid. And it's funny because we went yesterday and we were with someone who was giving us the official it's quite funny but anyway, that's the dream of the human, giving us what the like explanation of what this is. And of course, if we're open and we can see behind the veil, we can sense and feel what really these were for. But anyway, this was an initiation chamber, an ascension chamber, where those who were ready to raise their body without dropping their body. Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. Amazing. And this ascension chamber was for those who were ready to raise their body without doing or go through the experience that we call death. Take the body with them. And so this idea of death, the dream of death, the dream of time, the dream of the mortal body, and that we need to somehow shed this physical form in order to experience our higher self. The ancients knew this in the initiatory processes, in these and many others across the planet, and many others in Egypt here as well. This ancient knowledge, this ancient wisdom, this initiatory path was to let go of the layers of disbelief, let go of the layers of conditioning and years of feeling that we needed to do something, get something, to be worthy enough to raise our Ka body, our eternal light body, to raise into who we are. And this initiatory process, again, was a letting go. It was a subtraction. It was like you had to let go of the idea of the mortal body. And the Master Yeshua was in here, and many others in the parts that are missing. All those years where you don't hear what he wasn't doing it. Just nothing happened for all these years. He was initiated here. He was initiated in India, in Nepal, in Tibet, and other places. But at those times, those rigorous initiations had to be go through because the time was a lot denser. The culture was a lot denser. The vibration was a lot denser. And so that's the illusion, in that beach ball analogy, that was so much bigger and so many more were holding that, and so much less people had actually remembered that they could just let go. Now, this time, like the vibration, like this morning I woke up, so I was in the King's Chamber yesterday, and there's some things that I'm not really permitted to talk about. So how do I get around that? Just keep it personal, individual. So I've been meditating for a long time, and if you saw one of on the YouTube channel, you can go back to one of the quotes from the book where we talk about when you get in silence in meditation, in true silence, it doesn't matter what noise is going on around you, you begin to be able to, we use the word hear or listen, but those aren't adequate, but it's the only words in the language that kind of get towards what we're sharing here, that you begin to be able to listen or hear your own vibration, a subtle sound. It can be heard, felt, sensed, like a buzzing, like a vibration, like a tingling. All of these words approach it, but they're not really it. But if you're in silence, you begin to feel, see, hear, sense this subtle vibration. It's like an inner sound. It's like your keynote. So even though there's noises externally now, when I go within, and I'm not, this language is just so ridiculous. We're not going anywhere, we're not going in, we're not going out, but we just use this language. I'm able to pay attention to this subtle sound, vibration that's always there. And so yesterday, again, when I was in this chamber, I noticed a difference in that vibration of what it was yesterday and what it is today. So in the old terms, you could say the idea would be being in the King's Chamber yesterday, being in that initiatory space, raised the vibration here. But That's not actually what happened. It's maybe the influence of being in that and having that memory and other processes that are happening. I stopped doing something that I didn't even know that I was doing, that was holding me in a lower vibration. And again, it's hard to even describe what that is, because you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And if you don't know that you're doing something, and if you're doing something so unconsciously, like how many of you have driven a car, you've driven a car for more than 10 years, and you've driven a certain amount of time, of space, of distance, and you've got to a certain place, and you have no idea how you got there. You don't remember any of that process. It's become an unconscious act. If someone asked you, how did you do that? Well, how did you change the gears? Where did you turn left? Where did you turn right? How did you get through that? You can't tell them, but you know you got there. You know you've got to your destination, but there's parts of it that you don't remember because it was unconscious. Well, it's the same like this. The things that we are doing, and again, we'll use this term loosely, that we're doing something. It's like influences, habits, and beliefs that are unconsciously held that hold us in a state of awareness that is limited in comparison to what is true to all of us, what is always so. Again, we give the analogy of the aperture of a camera. So if you've got the aperture like this camera, we can't do it with that, where you could zoom in or zoom out. But you imagine the cap. It's also the same. It's designed like our eyes. When there's enough light, our eyes will close down, and when there's more, or the opposite is like when there's not enough light, our eyes will open up to allow more light in, and when there's it does the opposite in the aperture of a camera. It opens and closes like this to let more light in. So imagine who we are as this just limitless. It doesn't have any edges at all. But what our experience as a human in this body is taking the all that we are and collapsing it down into like this tiny, infinitesimally small aperture version, myopic view of what we are for a certain experience. So whenever our awareness is collapsed into this myopic view of what is possible, that's the thing that we are unconsciously doing that prevents us from experiencing what we are. Again, it's so subtle and it's such a challenge because it's not something that you can say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. It's more of a seeing, it's more of a recognition, it's more of a remembrance. It's just it becomes self-evident. It's just not like a beat yourself up. It's not a judge yourself. Oh, stop doing this, stop doing that. It's not like a lifestyle habit, although human lifestyle things definitely do impact and influence how we live our life, how we speak, how we think, how we act, how we choose to use our feelings or not use or be used by our feelings. Definitely impact that. But it's not like just this, stop doing this, stop doing this, stop doing this, stop doing this. It's more an inner revelation. And there are many things that we can do that helps that inner revelation, but ultimately it'll be seen at the end that none of it was ever true. And we're already at that end. So it's actually a process of non-doing, of undoing. It's effortless. It's beyond the concept of cause and effect. It's who we are always, in all ways. It's what we are. It's our true nature. And so this lets go of this idea of the spiritual practitioner, the things that you must do, I must go through these initiations. I must do this certain amount of yoga. I must eat in a certain way. I must not eat. I must spend time with these people. I must go to this place. I must go to high energy places, or I need to be in the forest. I can't be in the city, or any of these things. These are all external, and whilst they have value, and being in nature has value, it's ultimately an undoing. It's a non-doing. It's a seeing of what is already here. It's not a getting that something that is not. It's a remembering of something that always was. And for the little mind and the spiritual ego, that is very difficult because it wants something to do. It thinks I need to do something in every practice. Yoga doesn't matter, or even all the ancient practices. Do this, do that. Be this, be that. Don't do this, don't do that. Then eventually it will happen. No, it's already happened. It's already risen. You're already ascended. It's already so. You're already whole. You're already holy. You're already beautiful. You're already perfect. You're already everything that you could ever seek is already existed, already alive, already here, already now, already. Who is ready? We're all ready. You're all ready now. You're already home. You're already home. I was given a song recently, and it was like, already, question mark, comma, home. Already, like a question, comma, home. You're already home. Already? Home. Better find that song, actually. So, this was supposed to be short. And it's definitely not short because it's like 21 minutes. So we're going to leave it there because I'm going to meet a beautiful friend here today. Let's see if the soul being, you can see, it has arisen. And I just got given an incredible melon juice, sweet melon juice. It is so sweet that I couldn't believe that it was just melon yesterday. And I'm going to give an update on the pranic process because it has updated. And so yes, this has been Sunrise Soul Sessions on raising your vibration and how you don't need to do anything, and everything that you do can reveal what is already there. So we'll be back at some stage carrying on this little journey in the center of the earth in Kim, otherwise known as Egypt. And thank you for joining. Thank you for being. Put in the comments if there's anything you'd like to share or ask about raising your vibration and knowing that it's already risen, it's already done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, from my heart to yours, the Divine in me sees, loves, and honors the Divine in you. Namaste. We are